Hey, all you assholes, come and listen to us. It's the Keith and the Girl Show.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I got a Christmas card from Carrie Gravenson. She's been a comic on our show. Before that, though, she was an organizer in my house. I didn't know she was a comic. Remember that story?
Yeah. And she tells you to find joy or throw it out.
Right. She finds out that I'm one of the hosts of Keith and the Girl, and she's like, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, anyway, these underwear, clean or dirty?" I'm like, oh, Christ. Anyway, she sent me a card, and it says, "Happy Holidays from Unjumbler." That's the name of her company. "Catherine and Keith, best wishes for a happy, healthy, and organized new year. Unjumbler Professional Organizing." And she writes, "Hope you are both doing well. Best, Carrie." And I wrote her right away, and I said, "Thanks, Carrie. You'll be pleased to know I threw the card right in the garbage." So that works out for everybody. So thank you. Today's guests, you're going to love them. And we're going to get political, but in the good way. I know what you're thinking. How usually politics is like, oh, you're a snoozer. But then look what happens. It turns out it matters. All right. The first guest I'm going to introduce to you has been on Fox News, NBC. Rating that he did appeared in USA Today, Newsweek, The Hill. He and Chemda were on the podcast together, We the People Live.
Because I'm so political.
John Opdycke, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks
How did Chemda do at this?
She was great.
Yeah?
Fantastic. Yes.
Did I change our system?
Yes.
Yes.
Just your aura and your vibes had that much of an impact. But we had a lot of fun. You were my favorite person on there.
Ooh, there were only like 2 other people, so.
Well,
Thank
it's
you.
oftentimes very hard to do any kind of political discussion where there's any kind of openness and honesty. And you were just like, hey, here are my opinions, and let me ask some questions. And
It's pretty
it was
easy
great.
for me because that's all I know, so it's all I can say. So
Well,
I
you were
have to
good.
be honest. Just like, this is everything I know. Blah.
The second guest, also here in this very room, started the Twitter account Feminist Donald Trump. Before that, Feminist Bro, so I'm seeing a pattern. Writer for TV Land, also wrote for Fusion, The Frisky, The Spark, Glamour. If you read, she wrote it, is what it's looking like. Emily Winter, how are you?
Oh, good. Also, my favorite credit, I'm on a volleyball team with Carrie Gravenson.
Look at this.
It's crazy.
Holy shit.
Is she any good, or does she
Oh,
keep...
she's good. She's good. Yeah.
Is she playing, or is she organizing everything in
I
the back?
organized it. Yeah. We have a comedian volley team called Good Set. All,
Okay.
all the other teams are like, why would you name it that? We're like, oh, it's our secret.
Does she always throw away the ball?
She is, she's not a tall woman. She is surprisingly good for how short she is. She's
Okay.
like, yeah.
She doesn't keep like raking the sand between every play, right?
Are these euphemisms that I'm not getting? Are these puns? Are these metaphors?
I think he's picturing beach volleyball and you're just picturing volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah.
Actually, we were beach. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll be back in the spring.
See? Mm-hmm. How far did you guys get? Do you get championship level?
Oh, no. We got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
It's about
So-
the-
That's what, yeah.
It was a bad set.
It was it was an okay set. We tried. There was a lot of heart on that beach.
But not a lot of height.
Not a lot of height.
Okay.
All right, let's start with something fun, and then we'll get into how we're going to change the world. The Golden Globes were on the other night. And do you guys, are you into movies? Do you get into the awards? This year, a lot of political statements. Do we care? Let's start with John.
I am very into movies. I typically get into the awards, but I was in Paris on vacation for the Golden Globes. Could not partake, did not watch television while I was over there. So I don't know anything that happened. at the
Okay,
Golden
I'll
Globes.
fill you in. Emily?
I was also in Paris. It's so random. I watched while drinking wine.
Right.
I like I mean, whatever. I'm medium. I get annoyed by a lot of like TV and movies. There's some good ones. I don't know. I didn't see most of the ones that got awards last night.
Is it charming? Sometimes I wonder if they're making up titles. It is still nice to see, though, that it's hilarious when two straight guys act like they're gay. Like when Jimmy Fallon opens it, and there's more than once, he just stares into a guy's eyes like, get it, we're acting gay.
Right.
Whole place goes crazy. I love it.
You were into it? I was kind of okay, but also I'm a
that really
hypocrite
what
because
happened?
I love the movie I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I think it's
Right.
one of the greatest movies of all time. So I don't know where my barometer is. Maybe I'm just a bad lady. I don't know.
Yikes! You should wait until somebody asks you if you do or don't like that movie. That's not a volunteer.
Oh, you just
No.
lost all the listeners. Yeah.
But
You were telling me off the air too. You loved Boat Trip with Cuba Gooding Jr. Wasn't that your second favorite movie?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Good memory.
John's going to be on another podcast and go, Emily, you were very honest, and I liked you.
Best drama, Moonlight. Best comedy or musical, La La Land. And apparently that was the big winner, right? It was best actor, best actress, best flying. Actor in a drama, Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea.
Controversial pick.
Because
The allegations of sexual harassment that are floating around right now
with Casey Affleck.
Yeah, with
That
Casey
that
Affleck.
usually wins you the award.
I guess that's
Yeah.
right.
It's
probably
like, look over here, he's got a shiny thing. They
Right.
actually literally give you a shiny thing so you could deflect.
right.
So what is it? There's at least 2 women that he paid off, it seemed.
Yeah, that were part of his production company and part of filming.
That's tough when
various
they're getting
things
paid
and-
off.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Bummer. I can't even keep up with all of the sexual assault allegations. Like that's
Your fault. What are you wearing when you look at them?
And when I see it, he acts very, I don't know, just not fun. And I'm like, stop giving that look out. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're all maybe looking at him different.
How do you mean?
I don't know, because I hardly know who we're talking about. We're talking about celebrities. It's very difficult for me to follow.
He didn't even look like himself last night. He had like a giant beard.
Yeah.
He was hiding from
But he looked
his
like a
own
creep.
face.
I'm like, stop, look, you know?
Yeah, he looked like a comedian to me. Maybe that's why I was comfortable with it.
Animated film, Zootopia.
Good movie.
They thought so too.
I agree.
I guess what made news was
Is that I saw Zootopia.
there's movie starring with a all black cast, I believe. Fences and Hidden Figures. Fences is with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. Takes place in Pittsburgh in the 1950s, about their lives. Hidden Figures takes place in the 60s and is about the African American women that helped NASA, helped the space program make big advances. And so people got the movies confused and started calling it Hidden Fences. And it started with Jenna Bush on the red carpet for the Today Show.
So you're nominated for Hidden Fences. How cool is it? You said that this party's known for a little drinking. Are you thinking you're going to partake?
Now, later,
Now everyone knows what it's like that I always get my name mispronounced. What do? Do you correct them?
Right. So Pharrell is like, yeah, who cares? You know, I don't know what's
Right.
dumber, that you didn't get the question, will I be partaken?
Right.
I mean, she ends up apologizing. She should apologize for those stupid red carpet questions. But this apology, I don't know, you ask me, just calm down.
I thought last night was terrific. There were a lot of great moments. Viola Davis was one of my favorites when she said to Meryl Streep, "You made me feel like enough." I thought that was a beautiful speech. I had an error in the night, which I have to apologize for. When I was interviewing the incomparable Pharrell, who I adore, I accidentally, in the electricity of the red carpet, which I have never done one before, called Hidden Figures, Hidden Fences. I have seen both movies. I thought they were both brilliant. I've interviewed cast from both of the movies. And if I offended people, I am deeply sorry. It was a mistake because y'all know I'm not perfect. No. I am authentic, but
No, you're not.
a human. And what I didn't want to do is make anybody feel lesser than who they are. So anyway,
we've all been there, Jen.
I apologize to both the cast, to Pharrell, but it was a mistake. And you know, I hope we can all move on.
Now the apology isn't done yet. Is it too much? Shouldn't she just go Hidden Fences? It's just fences. I feel like an idiot. Sorry.
No, this is what people are asking for. She must have gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of negative feedback. And if it was a lesser apology, I think that it wouldn't have been crushed. It wouldn't have been.
And you think this would, if there is, so let's say she's getting all these comments that she must be racist. You think this is going to quell any of that?
This does come from that place, though. It
Does
does
it?
come from that you're just mixing the only two black movies. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So there is that. That is where it came from. There's no other place. Fences doesn't sound like not Fences.
They both start with the letter F.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, this would be something that I would mix up because I mix up references a lot, and it is part of my job to talk about it. So, she should have been a little bit more careful, but she wasn't, and she got a lot of shit, and she should eat a lot of shit. She ate it. It wasn't that much shit. It was like, this is what I did. I would prefer if she used the word instead of if, that I made people uncomfortable, or that I made, not if I made people uncomfortable. You clearly did. This is how it happened because these are the only two black movies. So it is from racism in one way or another, right? So apologize. Thank you. Okay.
Should she have to take a diversity understanding class?
I don't know. Is that what they're saying?
No, I don't know.
Everyone should. Yes. Everyone should. Yes. We're starting with the movie. We're starting with the movie 13th. If you haven't seen that, then you can't sign up for the more classes.
Know that was a mistake. We've all been in live situations. Yeah. Any broadcaster who's been in a live situation.
Al Roker, of course.
And you make a mistake. Look, I forgot Braveheart when I was interviewing Mel.
This is extra. This is what I feel is pushing it too far. This is, okay, accept her apology or don't, and that's it. Not more stuff. But then again, it's a talk show, so I guess how would you respond to your person apologizing?
Well, Al Roker can tell she's saying, I'm looking racist, and they don't bring it up once. Al Roker goes, hey, I've been there too. I forgot the name Braveheart.
Yeah, I think they start comparing. Danny was saying this earlier. Like, he starts bringing up all these white movies that he that they've messed up. Whoever was co-hosting with her.
Absolutely not the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but just stop. Just stop.
Just go to commercial. That's what they're there for, to save you right now.
Right.
And you make a mistake. Look, I forgot Braveheart when I was interviewing Mel Gibson last night.
And you called Jessica Biel Jessica Alba.
Yeah, exactly. So,
we all have
and you don't want to go by me because I'm old. Okay. But the fact is, honest mistakes happen in live television. And this culture of Twitter and people waiting to pounce to get on people.
Time out. This culture of Twitter can go suck my dick when people say that, because I bet their goddamn Twitter handle is on the corner of the page. Don't talk about Twitter fucking handles like they're not a thing, like you're not promoting them on the news, like you're not asking people to follow you, and then say, and then people can reach me. What? All this time you've been asking for followers. All this time you've been asking for reactions. You had one. It was an honest one. Now make an honest response yourself.
Well said.
This guy killed his whole family. Leave comments on our website if you want. Like, what are people gonna leave?
Yeah.
I'm disgusted.
Culture of Twitter and people waiting to pounce to get on people for it's got to stop. There's got to stop somewhere, because it's just ridiculous.
Well, I typically have a pretty thick skin because I've lived through a lot.
No, you
and
don't. No, you don't, because people tweeted at you that you fucked up and you're about to cry. It's fine. Shh.
See, I think the thing that's harder is not the culture of Twitter. It's the culture of ahistoricalness in the United States. So just a couple years ago, the Oscars were completely white. And there is a very charged and politicized environment in which the recognition of people of color and African-American filmmakers is under a microscope. And people are looking at it for cues and this and that. Is there equality? Is there new openings? And so her mistake takes place in a context in which every move, every nomination, everything is completely under a microscope. And I think that, unfortunately, what gets missed in that context is, does any of this have to do with bringing the races closer, with healing historical divisions, with moving the country forward? It
would be if people's apologies would be for real and not, oh my God, don't hate me, don't let me get fired.
All about themselves, protecting themselves.
Yeah, because she's not nervous because she made a faux pas against people of color. She's not nervous because she is suddenly realizing that maybe there is some internalized racism that she hasn't been aware of. She's not scared that she has been treating people maybe differently and maybe reporting the news somewhat on some sort of like biased brain. She is nervous that she's going to get fired and people won't like her and she won't get the interviews that she wants. That's why people don't accept these apologies. That's why we think everything is full of shit. And then we go, but so what? Why are we talking about this? Because this is what we're talking about.
Who are you talking to?
A lot of people.
No, I just mean the back and forth that you have in your head.
Well, that's kind of like how I meditate. I go back and forth in my head because I feel like I say a lot of things right into a microphone. And so I question myself when I go home. So I literally go back and forth debating myself so that once I talk about it, hopefully I'm at a place where I ask myself enough questions that I don't sound like a complete moron.
So does this apology come from a real place?
No.
Okay. So isn't it too much then?
It became too much. She should have ended. Sorry, Emily.
Oh, yeah, no. Is there a way to do it that shows that it's coming from a real
Hey, I can't
place?
believe I said this. And I'm learning, if you want to add this to it, say what you're apologizing for. I can see how this can come off racist. I'm really sorry.
Yes.
The end.
Yes.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. That's my point.
I typically have a pretty thick skin because I've lived through a lot, and you can say whatever you want to say about me, but to act as though I don't care about people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh my God.
about-
Violins.
If anybody who knows me knows,
Like, I care so much. I think I care too much.
you know she's debating about, do I say black people? Do I say racism?
To act as though I don't care about people.
Yeah.
We're really hurt.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
And
then
it
for
did.
the New York Times to pile on, to repeat these tweets, it's a cheap shot.
Yeah.
I really think so.
And for anybody who doesn't understand, like you said, the electricity of the red carpet, it's like a mosh pit. You're getting celebrities coming at you from all directions. You don't know who you're going to...
We don't have to understand your job that carefully.
It's
we
a mosh
really
pit.
don't.
I was watching it. All of a sudden, Sarah Jessica Parker just jumps in. Interview me now, my turn. It's like, I don't have cue cards on you yet. No, do it. I mean, it's crazy.
She's not a victim at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, oh my God, it was so many celebrities. It was so hard for me. You just don't know.
They tell you, I mean, next thing you know, there's a card about what movie this person is in, and it's in your hand, and you have to talk to that person.
I mean, well, aren't there PR people ahead of them? Like, please only ask about this. Please only ask about that. Whatever. I don't know how it goes, but I don't think it's a free fucking for all.
You do know how it goes because you see these award shows and you see the person waiting in the wings. Of course, that's how it goes.
Interview next, and you have like 5 people waiting for you. There's backup on the carpet, and it's a lot happening at the same time.
You're not in surgery.
And I think you had just interviewed the cast of Fences also. They think they were just right there in the moment. So it's just...
But I do apologize, and I hope
happens.
they know how brilliant
It
both
happens.
films are, and I did not want to make anybody feel lesser.
And then she looked at Al and went, "Thank you, Denzel, for letting me speak." Too much. Michael Keaton messed it up too during the actual award show.
Okay, in a year when so many actresses gave great performances, these 5 women gave us characters we will never forget. For Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture, here are the nominees. Viola Davis, Fences. Naomi Harris, Moonlight. Nicole Kidman, Lion. Octavia Spencer, Hidden Fences. Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea.
All right, what do we think? So he said fences already, and then instead of Hidden Figures, he says Hidden Fences.
But isn't he reading?
He got confused, I think, because he saw F again.
Did people go crazy on him? What happened there?
Well, he knows how to apologize better, so TMZ runs into him the next day.
Hey, Michael, what do you think about Twitter making a big deal of you saying Hidden Fences instead of Hidden Figures?
I know. So let's make this official. I'm sorry. I apologize. I screwed it up. Are they making a big deal?
Yeah, it's viral. It's gone viral. They have memes with it and everything. And
I'm a horrible person.
you're not a horrible person.
No, I am. I'm going to sleep pretty well.
Not losing any sleep over it. I love that. Have a good night. Thanks, Mike.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, I think he went too far the other way. I mean, come on. You don't have to be that sarcastic. You fucked up. It was someone's work. It's a thing.
Right. But also, I guess if an interview keeps trying to get more and more out of you.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine. Okay. I'm sorry. I fucked up.
Who was that?
Michael Keaton.
I don't know.
I like how he was just like, I mean, he appealed to, like, he was such a sweet dad about it in the way of like, what, the internet's saying it? How? Right. What's going on? How do you use the internet? What is that? It was just, yeah. But at least it was direct, and then he didn't go on to victimize himself.
Right. A lot's going on out there. First of all, I have another movie in the works. People don't even know that, but how busy I am. And a commercial for Spider-Man just came out, so there's pressure there. And then on there, I have to say more words.
He still fucked up just the same, and his apology started off what I thought was good, but then he threw it away. It was almost like, all right, that we're good now, right?
Maybe it's hard to take TMZ seriously, though, too.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Here she was on her platform, and people are making excuses for her, and she's accepting it.
Okay, you just washed your hands leaving a restaurant. It's like, hey, Michael Caine, everybody's mad at you. Like, I don't know, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like the context there is a little different. But I could be wrong. I'll ask myself later.
Meryl Streep gave about a 5-minute speech.
Did you guys almost cry or cry?
I didn't see it.
Okay, prepare.
I didn't. I'm shocked I didn't cry because I was drinking red wine. I had all of the things for a good cry, and I didn't do it. But I thought it was amazing.
Describe the speech.
She took the time. She took 5 minutes. I'm surprised they didn't turn on music. And
this Golden Globes is a party. It's anything goes. There's no orchestra.
She took the time to out Trump about his discrimination. She took the time to say that if we keep telling foreigners to leave, we won't have half the people that are, that we admire and love, and just stuff like that. She really, and I know I keep saying she took the time, but it really was, and everyone was quiet, and it didn't feel like, oh God, we should rush her at some point. It felt like, wow, this is the kind of speech that you make here, and it was incredible.
She said how disgusting it is when he made fun of that handicapped reporter. And this is the
from a position of power, especially.
Donald Trump then tweeted out, Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, doesn't know me, but attacked me last night at the Golden Globes. She is a ... Then about 10 minutes later, Hillary Flunky, who lost big. For the 100th time, I never mocked a disabled reporter. Would never do that. We've seen it. But simply showed him ... 10 minutes later, groveling when he totally changed a 16-year-old story that he had written in order to make me look bad. Just more very dishonest media. When you say she's a ... you can't wait 10 minutes.
I have a theory about those dots. I think for every extra dot after 3 in an ellipses, it shows like mental unraveling. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can see it with like emails from your parents too. Right. You're like, oh no, I don't even want to read this next line. And
when I'm doing bad, I'm just going to send you an email with all dots.
Just dots. It'll terrify me.
I mean, is he on the toilet and so he needs a break for 10 minutes every so often?
I think he's yelling in between like, if there's no room, how do I?
Right.
Yes, I'm on the toilet. No, yes, a little toilet paper. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Oh, man. I do remember when Obama did it. He was attacking the kid from that 70s show. You send these, and then his wife says, you got her. You got her good. Not that they talk, but... Right,
come on. She doesn't even want to live with him for the next 4 years. She's like, oh, I get a break? Great.
You go work by yourself, sweetheart. You'll be busy. You don't want to mess with me.
I don't want to be in on inappropriate meetings or anything.
And then there's, of course, the retweets. And, sorry, us Republicans are real people, and we don't have time for these celebrities. Never mind, we picked the guy who's only... all we know about is Celebrity Apprentice. Never mind that part. She did say, Meryl Streep, how this is art, what she and everybody in the room is doing, but football and MMA is not art. So she had many, many platforms.
Okay, that stung me a little bit too, until I think it's important that she said the arts, and the arts falls under a different category. Now, I could be a little bit...
pushing it a little bit?
Maybe, but she specifically said that is not the arts. Yeah. And under the umbrella of the arts...
I think she means art. I think she means it's not an art, you're just beating people up.
I mean, martial art, the word is in there. It's an art form.
Right. We call it that.
It is. People work very hard. They're very disciplined. But I think she's talking about the creative arts, and that's what she meant about the art. But I get it. If I was a martial...
Come on, would she bring it out? She's just shitting on it. Come on.
No, I get it. Because if I was I think for the martial art people, I was like, hey, you don't have to shit on us. We work very hard.
What do we do? Right.
Yeah. But she's saying it's not necessarily entertainment and she just described what the arts was.
She just came off.
It is our job to show you what other people's perspective is like by making you feel what they feel. And she said, that's the arts and this is not the arts.
Yeah.
I'm defending. I get that I'm defending her more than I get it.
Yeah, it's weird because she just went from bullying to how these things aren't the art, so you would think there's some kind of connection. She should be clear. Jimmy Fallon is acting like he's gay. That's the arts. But then you have football players. They're smacking each other on the ass. That's pretty gay, and that's not artistic? I don't get it.
Good point.
Thank you. An MMA president of Bellator, wrote an open letter to Meryl Streep. He didn't have her address. I'm a lifelong fan of your work, but also a lifelong martial artist who happens to promote mixed martial arts around the world. What the fuck else do you want us to do? We're monsters. Now, he said, the global sport of mixed martial arts celebrates male and female athletes from all around the world who work years tirelessly honing their craft and, yes, art. They come from every country and every walk of life. We at Bellator support them and honor their skill. Please be my guest at the LA Forum on January 21st, and you will see that mixed martial arts is truly artistic, which will feature fighters from all over the world competing at a world-class level. Scott Coker. But it's just interesting to me. Yeah, she will be there, absolutely. It's interesting to me that it's a little more, one of these animals, it's a little more eloquent than who will be our president.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. And he's not an animal. He works very hard to get in the kind of shape that he is in order to beat the living shit out of someone.
I think she just picked a bad example. I think
she was on a roll and she was
she would have been better off saying like beer pong contest or like something that you can't. Yeah.
Or reality TV that would have been appropriate because of she brought up the president and I think that was wrong. I think it was. I'm trying to. I think the reason why I'm defending it hard is because I hope that the entire speech, which was so good, which was 5 to 6 minutes long, is not completely dismissed because she said that. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, too late. You don't say it during the playoffs about football, sweetheart.
That's true.
Thank you.
I have a disagreement with Miss Streep for a very different reason, which is that...
What was she wearing? No.
I think that in some ways, part of what... what we're seeing here is the campaign is not over. It will never end. This campaign will just continue between Clinton and Trump. And I think that... and I say this as a fellow progressive, as someone who is on the left side of the political aisle, is that I think there's an important part of when you lose an election, and she was a Clinton supporter, of you have to evaluate, you have to look, you have to listen to what people said. And this kind of just simply knee-jerk continuing the campaign, continuing the arguments, continuing the fight, doesn't allow you to go through a process of saying, okay, do we need to do something different? It's just a continuation of it.
I get that, and I'm scared that I'm doing that, but every time I feel like I need to stop, I get worried that we're going to be complacent. I get worried that he's going to, say, look over here, and while we're looking over there, he's going to appoint more shit. Whatever he's doing, that look, I can't even list because I'm not good at it, because I can't retain political information as well as I wish I could. But I feel like every time we go, okay, he won, let's agree with it and move forward. I'm scared. I get nervous, so I don't know how to combat that.
Well, it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you look at this election, so Trump won, right? The minimum wage, wherever it was put on the ballot, wherever the minimum wage was put on the ballot to increase it, it passed. The same people that voted for Trump threw out Joe Arpaio in Phoenix by 20 points. He was the right-wing racist sheriff. So there is a much more complicated and conflicted situation in the country.
What's better to do?
Well, I think that progressives, Democrats, people on the left have to look at what is producing the gap between the fact that people tend to support the agenda of the Democrats, but they don't vote for them as individuals. The people have been pointing this out left and right. The Republican Party ran the table top to bottom during the Obama presidency.
But don't you feel like while we're examining and while we're looking at things to, maybe this, just like how I do, maybe they meant this, maybe we're doing this, maybe we should do it right this way. While we're doing that, they're stepping on top of our faces to get to their next part.
Well, look,
while we're being liberal and nice. And
no,
sweet.
I'm saying that actually what's happening now is liberal and nice, because it's just simply saying that what I have to do is get on TV and say the same things I've been saying for years and years and years, even though it alienates people and makes no difference. I'm just going to keep saying the same old thing. That's being liberal and nice. The harder thing is to take a look at is how the progressive movement, how the left movement in this country is running itself and positioning itself from electoral politics to being on the Golden Globes. And I think that there are lots of Americans that support their issues that don't like them and how they talk down to people.
So are you saying...
if you were Meryl Streep,
That's
how would have you used those 5 to 6 minutes?
Yeah, I was going to say, should she have not said anything political? So
No,
that we don't
not at all.
jumble?
No, I'm not saying don't be political. I'm saying that, and look, I'm using her as an example to say something that's a much broader issue for progressives. It's not Meryl Streep's issue.
Sure, and we're not talking about if you specifically had this belief. But let's say you had a platform and you have 5 minutes and you want to say that you're disgusted by this thing because we need to move forward. What's a different way to say we need to move forward?
And what do you think?
If I was Meryl,
what would the role have been that you got awarded for? Do you think, like action or
right, most overweight middle-aged man? No, I think if I was Meryl Streep, I would find a way, if I wanted to give a political speech, to say something like, I was a Clinton partisan. I thought that was the way forward for the country. I'm a progressive. I'm a left-winger. And clearly, there is some way that we're not getting our message out there, that people are not listening to us. Because the issues that I care about, I know the people of this country care about, but they're not voting for our candidates. They're rejecting them, and we have to figure that out. So I'm asking the American people, let's have a conversation about how we do something new in politics that doesn't lead us down the road of electing people like Donald Trump, who give us a way to...
He's pointing fingers, now we're pointing fingers.
Right, and so we're simply...
Fuck, he might have a point.
That's a hard conversation to have, though.
Should these, when they give their political speeches at these award shows, should they take the time to yell at everybody? Because there's 6 million people in that audience. Obviously, they didn't vote. I mean, other than the Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn table, she should be going, who didn't vote? We have all the electoral votes right here.
What about the fact that she was empowering people that he beat on? What about the fact that we have lost some hope, and her speech really gave hope? Like, hey, this person, you were looking at him as the most important figure in the United States, but just so you know, you're important too. Just because he says that doesn't mean that is the way that we need to speak. And just so you know, when you speak that way, you're giving it to other people. Because that was part of her speech. She's like, if negativity only creates more negativity. So that was part of it. It wasn't completely all Donald Trump sucks. And just now I remembered you didn't listen to the speech. So it might have been a little bit more of what you're talking about as well.
I mean,
not to defend her, but I did remember that.
I think the again, huge broad strokes here.
Right. And then there's that. Yes. Got it.
I think
I say women's strokes, but go ahead.
Women's strokes. Okay. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think the notion that kind of speaking for people, bringing to light their struggles and giving them celebrity, that is the kind of the road forward, I don't agree with. I think it's actually been proven false. And I think that it's very seductive.
Have you been from that place, though? Has somebody spoken in your name with confidence and boasting your, quote, people while you were marginalized? Have you had that experience? Because I didn't think that it would affect me, and it did.
That's a very good point. And
yeah, I didn't think, and it's the same thing when I found out I got my tumor. I didn't think that, well wishes on Facebook and, all that surface nonsense would really make a difference until I was in that position. And I'm like, well, fuck, it really does matter. This means a lot to me. This is pushing me forward, all the cliches. And so, until I was maybe in a queer relationship, so what about the Pride Parade? What's the big deal? So what about this, that, and the next? Until you're harassed and you are marginalized and it's pointed directly at you and you feel it daily, weekly, whatever, and then somebody gets on TV and says, people shouldn't be treating you that way, suddenly you're like, well, fuck. I guess it had to happen to me like a fucking asshole, like everybody else.
Yeah, it feels nice. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean,
You can't help it because you realize you're a human.
Yeah. It's cool that she used her platform to talk about this, but I don't know strategically if she did it the best way, you know.
Did you hear the speech?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And you didn't think it was...
No, I thought it was great. But now what John's talking about, I'm like, oh, is this just creating a bigger rift than existed before it? Is this the best, if you're gonna talk about it, which I'm happy that she did, is this strategically the best way? I don't know the answer to that question, and I'm glad that we have him here because he knows a lot of things, I think.
He has a suit.
He's got a suit jacket.
Also, very few people agree with me.
boy.
So I'm not, you know.
I don't know.
You do want to see the homes where people are watching this and they take their Trump hat off for a second and go, Not a lot to think about today. Thank you, Meryl.
Yeah, well, maybe she's...
We should go see La La Land, honey.
You know, maybe those parts were not meant for the Trump supporters. Maybe not everything is for absolutely everyone. Maybe she was boasting some parts of the country and not necessarily putting down the rest of them. I don't think that she was doing that. I think that now we're going into like way, picking apart her thing. But she did take 5 minutes to stand on a platform, so I guess that's why we're taking time to analyze it.
Yeah.
But
thank God she was dressed okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you see some of these chicks, you want to vomit. Like who is dressing them? And I know they're not dressing themselves. I'm not picking on them. Somebody tells you this is good, you gotta believe them. I was in Glamour magazine. I'm wearing clothes I would never wear. That's what they said. But some of these, I'm eating my own puke. I'm telling you. Oh my God. The newspaper should come with a trigger warning. They're like page 3, worst dressed. I'm like, Jesus, surprise me. You know what I mean?
Keith, you're so insightful and so sensitive. I think you should get an award for that.
I mean, you're going to be wearing that for 3 hours with kids at home? Holy cow. What is this? Anyways, let me explain this. And I want to talk more about John's politics. But how is Michael Keaton able to sleep okay after that horrendousness? I'll take a guess. He probably has a sleep number bed.
Oh, I thought I heard that in his voice.
I know.
I have to keep asking myself questions.
I know I do, and I'm doing just fine in this horrible world. Sleep number beds. I can set my side of the bed a certain sleep number, and my wife can set it her sleep number. For example, I'm a 35. She's a 45. Not to get too personal about our business. And we get comfortable sleep, and you're in the same bed. That's novel. And they have Sleep IQ technology. It tells you how you slept the night before. And if you didn't get 100 in your sleep number, which I do, it'll say, hey, because I didn't at first. I didn't know how to adjust my bed just right. It says, 4 or 5 in the morning, you weren't sleeping so good. Here's what we're going to do to change it. The app will tell you. Maybe you're one of these people that actually like to talk to humans. You can call the Sleep Number company. They'll tell you what to do. All right? Sleep Number Queen mattresses start at only $699.99. And right now, during the lowest prices of the season, you can save $600 on the Sleep Number i8 bed. You'll only find Sleep Number at any of the 500 Sleep Number stores nationwide. I used to let you come to my house, but my wife stopped that. Find the one nearest you by going to sleepnumber.com and be sure to tell them that Keith and the girls sent you. Okay? All right. Perfectly timed cough. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
John, you have a website called openprimaries.org.
Yeah.
And these primaries, you don't like the way they're run.
No, not at all.
Now, I know. Now, let's even talk beyond shady shit. I do think my affiliation was changed and I couldn't vote for Bernie. But what is your plan? Assuming there's not fraud, what would you like to see different?
Basically, every American should be able to vote in every election for whoever they want. It's that simple. And right now, the partisan primary system is set up in such a way as to exclude independents in many states, flat out, and also to keep Democrats and Republicans from commingling, from coming together behind candidacies, I really believe there's been a huge shift, which is that the whole paradigm of left, right, conservative, liberal is so outdated. A much more accurate view, in my opinion, of America is you've got insiders and outsiders. You've got liberals and conservatives that run Washington, D.C. and state capitals, and you've got 90% of the rest of the country that has very little way to impact on the direction of the country.
And some states have open primaries, right?
Yeah, some do. Some have nonpartisan primaries. Some have completely closed primaries. Some have closed primaries for state elections.
So just to be clear, this means that if I'm registered as a Democrat, then I can't vote for a Republican in the primary.
Exactly.
Right. And what you want to do is go, it doesn't matter how you registered, you can vote for whoever you want, which I don't understand why that's not a thing, because just because I am a Democrat doesn't mean that wouldn't you want to keep your mind open to always cross between? Like,
I think most people,
aren't we all trying to change someone else's affiliation? Wouldn't it be cool if we can go and now vote for the other guy?
I think most people would say they do that. I honestly think it's like football, and you have your team, and you picked it at 18. And the Reds haven't been doing too good lately. And the Reds got to fight back, because then they look stupid because they were on the wrong team for so long.
But the big thing that's changed in the last 30 years is now 43% of Americans, they don't want to be on a team. They want to be independent. They don't want to be in a political party at all. They see political parties as anachronistic, kind of something from the I Like Ike era. People want to be able to vote for the candidates they like. They want to support the issues they like.
And as you say that, who's going to have an argument for that?
Oh, I'll tell you. So here's the argument against it. The parties, and they say this all the way up to the Supreme Court, they say we are private associations, and we should have control over who gets to participate in our primaries. The role of the purpose of a primary is to select our party nominee. So why would you want Democrats choosing the Republican nominee or independents choosing the Republican nominee? Now, that argument...
Because, just to be clear, we will pick the worse on their side so that they can't win.
Well, that's
so silly, though.
It's a ridiculous argument that people, first of all...
That person still needs to lead us. We're voting for them?
And people should be able to vote for whatever reasons they want to be able to vote. But furthermore... The political parties, they claim they're private associations and they should have control, but then they want the taxpayers to fund those primaries.
What it sounds like they're saying is they want to not be a private organization anymore.
They want it both ways. They want to be private to determine who gets to participate, and then they want to be quasi-public to get them funded.
No, it really sounds like they're trying not to be private. I mean, that's because to me, that's the solution. Okay, then if all this is because you are some private company, then bye.
Then do it yourself. Exactly. I agree. I mean, the New York primary cost $25 million, and yet 3.2 million independent voters were not allowed to participate in that.
You've been doing this for 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
No change. What makes you go into work tomorrow?
Well, we've made a lot of changes. We actually...
okay, apologies.
No. We had it didn't get much media coverage.
What are you doing?
But in 2010, we were part of a coalition that passed a referendum in California called Proposition 14 that completely abolished the partisan primary system and established a public primary system. So now there's not a Democratic primary and a Republican primary. There's a primary, and all the candidates vote in it, and all the candidates are on the ballot, and all the voters get to participate. So you as a voter, you get to choose in each of the different offices for whatever candidates you want.
This is in California.
In California.
So 8 years ago.
Was that 8 years ago? God, 7 years ago.
Sorry.
2010.
When you go to vote, and you got these 90-year-olds are messing with the ballots, and God bless them, but they're the only people that don't have anything to do. And everything's a jumbled mess. Do you have faith in the system? Because every single time I vote, there's a 90-year-old just fucking it up. Like, wait, what was the number I gave you? And does it match this number? I'm like, you said this in front of me? I wouldn't even be this weird as a waiter. And you're just like, okay. I had to tell them that there may be a lawsuit that my vote for Bernie could count. I want a Democratic paper anyway. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you can do that. Like, why would you even say I don't think?
Oh, you mean the volunteers, not just...
volunteers.
Oh, I see.
Well, here's how I look at it. If the goal is to create a system in which fewer and fewer people vote, this system we have in New York is a work of art.
Yes.
It is,
Finally, what Meryl Streep was talking about.
No, it is absolutely a work of genius in creating an environment in which people feel like, why would I want to waste 3 hours on a Tuesday when I get humiliated, I get my time wasted, there's no one to vote for, there's no competitive races, particularly at the city and the state level.
And sometimes it's early and they're out of stickers. Well, what are you going to do? Just believe me? Holy balls.
Yeah, fixing the primaries is not a silver bullet. It's not, you reform the primaries and now our elections are hunky-dory. What opening the primaries does is it weakens the control that the political parties have on the totality of the electoral system. Part of why there's a law in New York that to be one of the 90-year-olds working on election day,
you have to be blind.
You have to be blind. You have to be appointed by a local district leader, and you have to be a registered Democrat or Republican. That is not a custom. That is a law in the New York State Constitution. So as long as the political parties control the electoral system from top to bottom, we're going to have elections that are low turnout, low competition, low debate. That's what opening the primaries is simply, can we just loosen their grip a little bit? Can we open it up to get more voices in there that are not partisan?
Well, when I ended up voting, they have the machine. You fill that, you put it in the machine. Well, the woman has me give it to her before it reaches the machine. She holds it. She looks it over.
Whoa.
Then goes, okay. And then puts it in the machine. I'm sure there's no button you can touch after that. What the fuck?
Yeesh.
Okay. That was worth my time.
Oh my God. Even your parents don't tell you who they voted for, right? Someone's parents.
You know what? Everybody's honest now, it seems.
Ha.
Yeah, now they're saying. Yeah.
This is the first year your parents told you who they voted for.
I think it is, yeah.
Wow.
They want to be clear.
Wow.
Yeah, they voted for Hillary. And my mom said, you know what? I wasn't, my very religious parents. My mom said, no, I didn't want to. She's, pro-choice. But I figured, okay, at least it's not going to be Donald Trump. So I would vote for Hillary, and then I would write her a letter and say,
that's so sweet.
It's so sweet.
What if you weren't born? Everybody should be born. Well, now she gets to save the stationery.
Your mom's wrong about everyone should be born. Have you seen our president? John, that was my last one.
That was good. That was good.
It wasn't my last one.
It was good.
Emily, by the way, she's political. She's co-producing the What a Joke Comedy Festival with Jen Welch, who you've heard from on this show. It supports the ACLU, and it's happening in 33 cities around the country.
Incredible.
Yeah, and Oxford, England.
In Oxford, England. This is on inauguration weekend.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, oh my God, this wasn't a dream, and you need a little levity,
and you don't want to take the bus to DC.
Right. Can you imagine that march?
There's there's no buses to DC, right? They're shutting it down.
What do you mean? They're done packing them up. I've sort of been out of the bus news because so Jen and I are producing this, but also we're producing the New York show. So there's been a lot of bus talk on the internet, and I've elected to stay out of it.
I'm sorry to bring up such a heavy topic.
I don't know what the deal with the buses is right now.
Well, I was considering going to DC, but now there's one in New York as well. So
there better be. That's where Trump's going to be.
Well, no, that's where his wife is going to be.
We'll see.
Yeah, and so I thought, oh my God, but I still want to be, in DC because that's. But then you think, well, it's going to be a really a big hassle, which I don't mind going through, but New York also needs support. Why not have women here supporting as well? So I'm going
My house needs support. I have a family.
I mean, I can come to your house too and support.
Did you have to register for that march?
Yes. So, and I didn't. Thank you, Libby. But also, I forgot what I was going to say.
Is that weird?
Oh, yeah. The buses are shut down. So the day of, either all the buses are sold out or they're not going or something like that. The day of and possibly the day before. That was my point.
Oh, so wait.
So it's a real march. You have to march from New York.
All the way to DC. Oh, boy. So you had to register somehow. I mean,
I think just to get a count. They're just trying to get a count.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I was, curious about.
Are you saying you don't like the idea my name's on some list? as opposed to I'm just one of many people?
I think so. I think I don't like that. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Danny's saying there are buses to DC. I bought my ticket for inauguration weekend earlier this week, but I think you're going earlier. I think that, no?
I just checked the day of. There's still buses.
Okay, guys.
Because aren't there like private bus companies that are taking their own, that are selling tickets for a lot of money? And
must be.
I'm very obsessed with the buses, you can tell, because I will not be on one. But yeah, well, I'll be in New York. There are 8 What a Joke shows in DC too. So
I hope somebody was so into it and is now like, look, I don't know about the buses. Forget the whole thing.
I know, we're very uninformed about this bus situation. We apologize.
So question, it's 33 shows over that weekend, but it's not 33 cities?
It's 83 shows. I think we're going to add another one today. So it's 83 shows right now in 33 cities. And I believe by the end of the day, we'll have 34 and then that's it.
That's incredible.
How did this spread so fast?
It was amazing. Like I can't believe that we did this with all of these producers, but
were you planning that?
No, I mean, the election night, I think everyone was just like a mess. I was a mess. I was just like, I gotta do something. And I thought of Jen, who's a comedian, and I messaged her. And then we thought of this idea. It was actually her idea to like, let's reach out and see if we could do like a multi-city benefit. And then we started talking to some, like our DC producer, Catherine Jessup is an amazing comic who I've done a festival with. And that's how I knew her. She was like, I'm on board. And it just sort of spread from there, and people knew people that they really trusted. So we just sort of spread out our network. And I mean, when it was coming in, like I was at work when we got like a bunch of emails and messages saying like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. And we're like, wait, this is 15 cities. This is 20 cities. Like I just started crying at my desk. Like I was just I must have looked so strange. And I didn't explain myself. I'm just like the writer in the corner who's crying. That's just,
I'm doing shows. That's great. You're doing shows, Emily. Fantastic.
Right. They have no idea. Yeah.
It's my process. I'm a writer.
Emily, you took a lot of women's studies classes in college. But when people say that, what do you study? Like Oppression 101? What do you...
Oh, boy. Well, it was...
Hemlines.
It was a long time ago.
Because apparently, not what dresses to wear on TV when Keith Malley's watching. Some of these, I'm telling you. Unless it's a joke.
I did not major in women's studies, but when I graduated college, my mom congratulated me on my women's studies major. And honestly, it was just because I had let myself go so much in college. Like I had put on like 50 pounds and was just like, I could brush my hair or I could drink beer and pass out, So I chose the second option.
But you really didn't take classes?
No, I did take classes. I did take a lot of classes. I think it just opened my eyes to being a person a little quicker than, oh, this world is really fucked and like this is not good for us. And you don't have to take things that,
is that what it is? Does women's studies teach you you're a person?
Yeah, it teaches you you're a person. And you didn't realize that you weren't thinking that before, you know?
Look at that. How many classes?
I took a lot of classes on how to be a person. And I'm still not doing a great job, to be honest. But there's that. I'm simplifying it, oversimplifying it. But there's history and politics, and obviously women's issues extend to every realm of the universe. So you can,
During stand-up, you've said, and I quote, "There are things you can get away with in your 30s that you can't do in your 20s anymore, like cutting."
Yeah.
How you doing?
My cutting joke. Look I'm doing so good. Wrist up, everybody.
That's what they mean by this, right?
Raising the roof?
Yeah. I actually recently did that joke at a show where there was a 19-year-old in the audience and she was pointing at me during that and her wrist during that joke. And she was just like, and then like touching her heart and she was like, she was mouthing like, I love this. So,
not distracting at all.
No, yeah, but it was so sweet. I was like, also, like, it was a weird show and I couldn't really tell what people wanted. So it's like, you get that one girl in the front row who loves you and you're just like, that's fine. I'm doing this for you now. I just want to go to bed.
When's the last time you cut?
I never cut. I've never cut.
Oh, you never did?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congrats.
But I've talked to a cut her about this joke, and she was nervous that, can you talk about something that isn't your struggle?
Right.
And I think I treat it with sensitivity, and I have depression. That's just not how it's ever manifested for me. Right. So I'm not coming I don't think I'm coming from a place of like, fuck cutters. God, that's dumb. Why would you want to bleed? Like, I get it. It's an expression of pain.
John, are you a cutter?
I am not.
Okay. Let me just make a note.
Check.
I've wanted to cut.
Right, me too.
But I wasn't in my 20s. I think I was 40. But I finally realized what it's like. No, but I never fully understood. I understood it was an expression of pain, but I was like, whoa, I actually want to cut myself right now. And I was like, wow. And so I just walked up to Hennessy, my husband, and I was like, having this feeling. Me? And so probably I'm supposed to tell you, because I am 40 and I can do that, but I think in my 20s I wouldn't have been able to do that. I was cutting in different ways. You know?
Exactly. And I think that I hurt myself like in a lot of different ways. I think like I try not to smoke cigarettes anymore, but like that is like a way. And like when I'm very, very depressed, like I have the instinct to smoke a cigarette. And like I think it's because I know that it's bad for me. And if smoking were good for you, I wouldn't want one when I'm hurt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I slept with some people that I wouldn't have had I not been. They were slicing me with their penis.
You'll deliberately watch a 4-hour award show on TV.
Exactly. There are a lot of ways to hurt yourself.
It's funny. I still do that. I smoke one cigarette every night.
Oh God.
And I think it is connected to that. There is something about if it was good, I'd be like, no way. But it's a certain...
Right.
It's a thing.
I was talking to a cutter the other day, and I said, once in a while I have a cigarette, so I understand. And that put him at ease. Like, we're all going through stuff. You talked about on another show, it's nice walking around New York City and not getting catcalled. I don't get hit on a lot, you're describing, but it's weird talking to your hot friends who do get catcalled.
That's true.
Do you
do your research?
Do you wish you were catcalled a little more? Wouldn't that be nice?
No, I feel like and that joke, that's a newer joke, but I feel like it's evolved to this place where I'm like, I feel like it's a superpower not to get hit on, but it is you have to remind myself that there are women out there who it's part of their struggle, and I'm like, right, but I mean, look at me, I'm wearing a sweater sack dress. I wear this thing once a week. I don't even have a body in this. I'm just like a floating lady who tells jokes.
Well, I don't want to make you sadder, but that doesn't seem to stop guys. What I'm hearing.
I know, and it's not. Listen, I don't know. I guess I'm lucky. It doesn't. I mean, it's not that I'm never catcalled, and when it happens, it's gross, and I get angry.
Are you a weirdo when you're already smiling? Then I can't tell you what to do.
I'm never already smiling.
All right, so I don't get it. All right, fingers crossed. And I also heard you once dated a guy who didn't wear shoes. Mm-hmm. Is this true? Because it restricted his karma.
Yeah. My mom was like, I remember she like visited me in college, and she was just so upset when she went home, and I was like, what is the problem? And she's like, his dirty feet, Emily. Like, just this guy with these horrible, only Hawaiian shirts, dolphins all over his apartment. He was a coke dealer. College, right?
Did you tell her the coke dealer part?
No, I never told him. I hope she's listening right now.
How long did you date?
That guy, I think maybe like 4 months or something.
All right, and you never said like, this is a nice restaurant. You have to have shoes.
Oh no!
You didn't go to a nice restaurant. That's not what you do.
Yeah. One time I went in his bathroom and there was just a pile of poop in the tub. So I was like, we're not going to go to nice restaurants.
It's funny because I dated someone who didn't wear shoes very often, but I don't think I was wearing shoes as much as I am now at the time. And
I'm very proud.
I was, and I was in New York. Because I don't care. But I wonder about that. Like, as a mother, can you go, she's in college, because I was 19 and but I can't say that I wouldn't date someone without shoes now because I think shoes are oppressive. But anyway.
What?
But I'm thinking that my mother has walked into an apartment when I was in my early 20s and just started crying. Like, because this is where I live, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, can't she understand? Like, now that I'm 41, couldn't she understand I was 23 and that's the apartment that you're supposed to live in and what's really going to happen and who cares? Can you do that as a parent?
I think it depends on the parent. I mean, some are very good at that. They're very good at compartmentalizing, like, oh, she or he is this particular age, therefore no specifics that I encounter matter. Right. And other people, I'm not saying that's a good approach.
No, I'm not saying that, that like you go, cokehead with no shoes. She's in her 20s.
College, right.
Whatever. I'm just curious if it is possible, because the reason why I'm not having kids is because I will never be able to sleep at night, because I know my kid's going to be one of these kids that is just like, I'm liberal about everything, but you pick the one thing that I'm going to not sleep at night about.
Was it a big coke phase with this guy?
Oh, he was just a dealer. I don't think he ever
Were you just
did.
a taker?
Unfortunately, I was just a nice kid, and I just didn't. I was afraid of it.
You don't gain 50 pounds in college on coke.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you weren't a cokehead.
I went to school in Wisconsin. That's all. Yeah, beer and cheese.
Was it good?
Oh my God.
During when you were younger, you drove out west. You wouldn't do that again because you're older, and that ship has sailed. It was full of coke and blowjobs. Are any of these things true?
Okay, so then there was coke after that. That was the New York phase. Then you moved to New York, and you're like, wait, why is everyone thin and
going faster?
And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I moved here when I was 22, so I've had cocaine. Right. Yes, I have. And it was so fun. And it is so fun. And I think that it is the best, honestly.
I got very lucky.
How about you? Yeah.
I got lucky in that. No, in that when I was in high school, this is the late 80s. So this is like the John Hughes era. And all the guys who were like Blaine from Pretty in Pink, the real assholes, they all did coke. I mean, massive amounts of coke. And I couldn't stand those guys. To this day, I have never tried coke, simply because I do not want to be like Blaine in Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, my father chain smoked. I never tried a cigarette before in my life. Yeah.
Cocaine? Never once?
Never once.
Just heroin for him. Look at him.
Right. Oh, yeah,
that. What about Adderall, guys, Coke Light,
no,
Diet
those
Coke?
Guys, honestly, I hung out with the punk rockers when I was in high school, even though I wasn't a punk rocker.
That's a drug. What drug is that?
Well, we would show up at parties with 8 packs of cherry Coke. And I know I'm not defending it. We were weird. But you know,
I didn't drink in high school either. But that's just funny.
But all the cool kids, all the really, really cool kids, were doing so much coke. I mean, coke in the 80s, it was just the drug. There wasn't anything else, and weed. That I just didn't get. To me, drugs were what assholes did.
What did you try any drugs since in your life?
Just weed.
Okay.
I'd recommend cocaine, I think. If you want to give it a go, it's very fun.
You are in New York.
To wean myself from my John Hughes, Blaine, Pretty in Pink.
You don't want to be scared of John Hughes your whole life.
Right.
Come on.
All right, let me mention this. John's website, like we said, openprimaries.org. You want to change? This is where you start.
Yes, everyone should go there. They should sign up. They should follow us on Twitter, Open Primaries USA, and we're doing a lot all over the country. This is a tough fight because it's one of the few issues that both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are against us. Right. So we're looking for allies from both the left and the right and ordinary people. And I really think if we can unpry the partisan control of the political system, there's a lot of great things that we can do.
Should you be able to vote from your phone? You're in the middle of Candy Crush, little ad pops up right there, in and out.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Emily, well, I'll tell you what's going on over here, right? People want to go to this show.
You should go to the shows. They're in so many places. There are 3 in New York.
You can go to whatajokefest.com. You can check out her ratings at EmilyMcKennaWinter.com.
Yeah, that website is... service I'm using is terrible. I got to get a new website, but that's the one right now.
Go there, but it's terrible.
It's terrible. Oh boy, it's a mess.
Right. And the Twitter account she's semi-proud of at Emily McWinter. Okay?
I'm going to be at the festival. If you guys want to come with me, follow me on social media. I'll be posting when I'm going. I'm definitely going the last night. I got to see if I'm going the other 2 nights as well. But let's link up. Let's all go together. Let's march. Let's go to comedy shows, Follow us on Twitter so we can be friends. Ooh, I got to tell you this. See, I misunderstood social media yesterday. We'll get into it tomorrow, but here I am going like, be friends with me. Let's connect. Let's really get together. Like all this stuff. I tried that yesterday on Facebook and I commented on someone's post and she blocked me from the whole post. And I don't know, but I'm so nervous.
What did you say?
I was trying, she posted some sad thing and I was trying to connect and it must have went wrong. See you in tomorrow's episode.
KeithAndTheGirl.com